I should be recording. Can I see the file. Yay, continuing going medieval. Cues provided by Tinsley PR. I only got a few things to talk about. One, I am definitely going to be ranting on. Definitely. It's I have listed, but you know what? Nah, I'll leave that for last. I'll leave it for last. Might be a fun rant, though. The two things that I have noted, because one is significant, the other, I didn't quite feel like putting in the news. Devolver Digital has announced a new label, Big Fan Games. Which is interesting. So Devolver Digital, for those of you that don't know, boy, in some ways that's almost a lucky you because they're kind of weird. That's right. I want to do like an underground pen area. Anyway, so Devolver Digital specializes in. They are a game publisher, and they specialize in indie games, especially unusual ones, I think is a way to put it. They're weird. They are. Not that there's something wrong with that, it's just they are. I need to start destroying this stuff. Oh. Okay, so they can... No. There. So they can reach it from the ground, so that's... I wasn't certain about that. But, why do I... Oh, that's right, because I need to... There. Should have plenty of players. There. Okay, so yes, that is not going to go down deep enough to get in here. Well, I might be able to manage something. Ooh, I actually kind of almost like that idea. It's not going to work very well, but I can kind of almost work. Sorry, I just... Where are they? Is it over here? Looking... Where are the fences? Are they back here? I mean, it shouldn't be part of production. You'd think it could be in here, but it's not. Okay, miscellaneous. Oh, I lost a dog. Oh, it happens. Here. Like that. This I will want like that. And that was here. Yeah. There. There. Kind of like this idea. Because once that's open there, what I can do is put the steps down there. So it's down 1, down 2, and then down. Anyway. So yeah, Devolver Digital, they specialize in indie games, and they can be some odd ones at times. Just the way that is. Which, I mean, to be fair, I mean, even the weirdest of them, it's still a good thing for them to do that. You know, it's a good thing for games like that to still be made. Because there's going to be somebody that'll enjoy them. I mean, it's kind of just the whole... Because, I mean, you are seeing that with some games today where it's like, they're not doing well. It's like, well, yeah, because they're not spending the money correctly. They're not marketing correctly. Where it's there's some games where it's like, yeah, you're only going to appeal to like a few thousand people, but then they spend money on it as though it'll be tens of millions. It's like, yeah, that's not how that works. You have to be aware of that fact. And I think there are just some people that would rather refuse to believe it. I think that's... Nope. Alright. That should... Alright, there. So now I have 2 pens here. Although they are currently connected, but that's fine. Because, see here, it's only on that side. I do need to put another drop down. Actually, I should try to put down multiple. Oh, that's nice. 4. Okay. Alright. So yeah, with this new label, it's... So, I don't know all the intricacies of labels for publishing, but... I mean, for book publishing, they'd be called imprints, potentially, where it's like, there might be... I kind of want to use names, but I know I can't because I don't remember who's who. But it'd be like there might be, a single publisher, but that'll do like anything. But then they have an imprint, and I think this is the case for Tor, Tor, is an imprint that specializes in science fiction and fantasy. But they are not the publisher. It's a different publisher that's over that actually does the publishing. So it's still Devolver Digital publishing these games. It's just... okay. But Big Fan Games has a focus on... Come on. No. What? I don't know why it's saying I can't. So I'm clicking. Just like, no. Well, you're an idiot. I mean, seriously, how stupid can you? But anyway, yeah, so it would be that where so Big Fan Games would still be published by Devolver Digital, would be all their resources and such, but with that label there, and it's focused on licensed games. I don't remember if I already said that or not. Sorry. So, and they actually already have done some. So like John Wick Hex is a licensed game that is an indie game, and yeah, I guess I just have to leave Marcus there for now. And it was published by Devolver Digital. Now it's under the Big Fan, right? Big Fan Games label, which is still Devolver, but it's with the focus on licensed games. So I'm assuming then some of that will be like that's they will also try to forge the connections with the different IP holders to assist with, hey, you got an idea for a game in this IP? All right, well, in order to make that happen, you have to obviously get permission. So we got those connections. Yeah, so that is going to be interesting to see what comes of that. That's kind of all I got on that one. But I do also, because looking at my notes, realize I typo in here. And even though no one sees these but me, I still want to fix it. Hellboy, Web of Weird, and Rain Game of Thrones are two other. Like if you actually look at BigFanGames.com, they list those three games. John Wick Hex being the third. And uh, yeah, so those are already published games, but they've been moved on to this label from Devolver Digital. Okay. The other thing I got before getting to the rant, which yeah, that's gonna be a fun rant for me. Apparently, AMD has decided to introduce something kind of neat with their drivers. This is a tool meant for, well, you're an idiot, Marcus. It's like you're the one that literally trapped yourself. I mean, come on. You know, they really should have a forward-thinking aspect to this AI in here. Going on a rant here now, where it's like, you're doing something. Well, you're planning to do something. Is if you do that thing going to prevent you from moving? Like, you know, think that next step ahead. If yes, don't do. Okay? Or like, do a different way. Like, you know, don't do. Then have it check a different orientation, different positioning. Can the task be done this way? Yes. Does it lock you in? No. Do it that way. I'm sorry, it should not have done that. They even have made adjustments to the AI to prevent issues like that with like excavating, with digging things out. But apparently they couldn't be bothered to do it that way. So once that's built, in theory, then I can actually move all of these over there. Right now I'm just kind of thinking, do I want to do this to make him happy? A little tempting. But it's also, I feel like I need to just leave him to not be rebellious, then do it. I also don't even remember, what's the benefits to doing this? Is there better than enjoyable? I could feed them animal feed. I'm guessing that there's not better than enjoyable, so let's just... Huh? Oh, okay, the red. Yeah, the red. Alright, well, that's... fair. Anyone missing? Come on, everybody should be involved. Do that, get everybody happy. Yeah, so this new AMD feature, well, AMD driver tool, it's called Driver Experiments, and you can read about it on the GPU Open page. And it's basically a way for developers, starting developers, not users, to disable certain features. Excuse me. And it's by API, so you could... It was supposed to be enjoyable. What? So you lie to me. Whatever. They still need to have this be better. Okay, so Reddit is in fact quite old, so it's fine. Since I don't have a dude for that. Makes sense to just do it anyway. Do it this way. Anyhow, so yeah, you can disable support for mesh shaders, and it's per API. Sampler feedback, ray tracing, variable rate shading, GPU work graphs, low precision support, which is actually interesting. So that's the, like, instead of running things with 16-bit precision, which there's also disabled native 16-bit support, you run at 8-bit or 4-bit, which can be a lot faster, but technically... What the hell? No. Screw this. This has got to be bugged. It's like, hey, it'll be good. And then it's like, no, it won't. Then... I'm not... Why should I bother with events then? Seriously, why should I bother with events if... You know, it can say enjoyable, and then it's like, no, it's not. No. Why should I bother with that? And I don't care if it's this is just a prediction. I don't care. You're like, I had the other thing too, enjoyable. It ended up being lamentable. Okay? That's a huge leap. Because decent is below enjoyable. What was it? Crap, I'm trying to remember. What were the levels? Appalling. Come on. Okay, I might not be able to change it because I did one so recently. But it's like appalling, decent, no. Appalling, lamentable, decent, then enjoyable. It went from enjoyable down to lamentable. That's not an estimate. You're wrong. Okay, and why should I spend these resources when I can't trust that? Twice in a row it did that to me. Why? I have no reason to. Anyway, but yeah, you can disable low precision support, native 16-bit support, AMD vendor extensions, compute queue support, and copy queue support. Those are under features. Then there's optimizations you can turn off and safety features you can turn off. Which I kind of wonder what that would do. But the idea here is like, okay, I want to see what would happen with this game that runs that uses ray tracing. I want to see what would happen if we turn off the ray tracing. Not an unreasonable question. Oh. That's true. I do need the asses. Alright. They can be over there. Let's actually start by moving the deer, since they haven't been moved yet. But yeah, so it would be, the worst case for a developer that it's like, hey, I need to make sure that this will work the way I want it to work. Okay, try turning this off and see what happens. In theory, though, it can also, like with the optimizations, you may find that, some optimization, something changed there. We now need to go in and make these edits. Because some of these optimizations could actually have a performance regression. That can happen. So yeah, this could actually be quite interesting. What it will allow. Seriously? If only this was seasonal. If it had seasonal control, that'd be awesome. No, seriously, that would be awesome if it had seasonal control. Because then you could actually there we go. Because then you could have it move between you could have it move between things then. Like, say I want this here. Well, like in winter, bring them down here, but in summer, have them up there. That actually would be reasonable and a useful ability. Please tell me. Oh, okay, she got... See what I mean, though? Because there was no longer a place for her to be, so it popped her over here. Popped her up here. that makes sense. So why is it that the dude was able to lock himself behind the stairs? Alright, I actually have some of these. I might. Yeah, I have mechanical components though, so let's... There. Keep the animals out. The wild ones, that is. So yeah, it will be interesting to see what comes of that. Well, actually, no, it won't be interesting because we'll never find out what comes of it. But to see how developers may end up using that stuff will be kind of interesting. I think I just need to let this sit here and wait, which means I can also get to the rant. It's something I've been seeing people talk about, and it's like, yeah, it's annoying me seeing people talk about this, because I get the argument people are trying to make, but it's just, they don't quite know what they're talking about. And it annoys me, because I have a better idea of what I'm talking about than they do. So the thing I've seen some people talking about is it being a requirement, even, that when somebody reviews a game, that they need to share the entire experience, right? Which I've been doing that for a long time now. Okay, that the first one was Agony. I did this one. That was back in 2018. And I actually could have started doing it in 2016, because that's when I started a different channel where I was doing complete playthroughs of games. It just didn't occur to me until that game, because it would have fit in both channels. It didn't occur to me until then to, hang on, just a second. I want additional ones of these here. To start doing that. But since then... Well, here, let me finish, and then I'll get to the numbers. But yeah, it's basically you got these people saying that should be a requirement, which, full stop, no, do not require that. Okay, that's not fair to anyone doing those reviews. I mean, some people like me, I'm comfortable being on mic. Obviously, I'm on mic, but I'm not on camera, and that's for a couple reasons. One is I just don't really want to be on camera. I'm on camera in other things. So it's not like that's a hard rule for me, but still is, that's not really what I want to do, because I don't want the focus to be on me. And it's also, I'm not all that good looking, so, say, why would anyone want to do that? And it's also, where would I put it? Like, legitimately, where would I put it, the camera in this? I mean, think about it. Yeah, you see my mouse. I can't put it down here, here are the tools. Can't put it up here, because that would hide the values here, the temperature, the times. Can't put it over here, because I do interact with stuff here, and can't put it here. So I'd have to have it here, maybe, but that's still covering part of the screen. I mean, it's like there's no good place to put it, really. But it still is. There can be some reviewers that they could be excellent reviewers, but it's like, I don't want to be on mic. I don't want that. So what are you saying? That, oh, well, then they shouldn't be allowed to review? It's like, that's absurd to me. That's absurd. So I'm completely against it as a requirement. But it still is just annoying seeing some of these people, because they're talking about how they have to share it unedited. I process the audio, otherwise it's unedited. So that counts. I don't think that anyone can really argue against that. Because what is the audio processing? I'm just ducking the game audio so that you can hear me more clearly. That's fair. That's fair. And I do try to shut up when there's something going on where it's like, nah, you need to hear it. But yeah, I don't touch the video except for reprocessing, because I have to record. And this is another thing about it. That's why you can't make this a requirement, because there actually are things that you have to do that isn't easy. Like, I may record on the desktop, but I process on the test system, because I don't use the test system all the time. I can't bog down my desktop processing video all the time. Because I was like, some games, that's over 100 hours of video that I'm recording it at typically like 25 megabit because I want to have the cutout sections that I do at a higher quality. I want that to be at a higher quality. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm trying to show the game well. I don't want compression artifacting when I'm trying to show off the game. Okay, now I'm pretty sure. Let's get the chickens moved first. Just, yeah, so that stable temperature down. My brain just turned off a little bit. You know, I kind of wonder if I can do. Let me try. Let me try something. Okay. So who knows? That may actually. Well, oh wait, no. Never mind. Those won't work. There's no sunlight. They won't work. But yeah. So it's like you potentially be requiring people to have a second system then for doing that processing. At least if they want to have a high quality version, because like, and I do written reviews as well, and it is also you might want a high quality because it might be yes. Here's the whole review playthrough. I don't do edited video reviews. I don't do that. That's not. I'm not a video editor. I'm not good at writing scripts and doing all that. So I can't do that. But let's say I was. I'd want that 25 megabit. I want to work off of that for the video review because I want that to be the best looking, where it's edited there, it's composed, not just you run this in the background so you're hearing not just that. It's like I process down the video to about 10 megabit because that's my upload speed. So it's like that way I know I'm getting at least about real-time upload. But it's like that takes a second system to do. Not everyone has that. A lot of people out there that are reviewing games today are doing it basically as a hobby, doing it for fun. And it's also somebody like me. This is another thing. Some of the people doing this, it's like, yeah, their actual career is online, is streaming stuff. And I really don't think they understand how many people that's not the case. It isn't careers for them. So the idea of a second PC for them might be like, well, why don't you just have a second PC? It's like, you can't afford it. I can. I have. Well, no, I didn't really get help with the test system. I got a mouse and a keyboard provided for that. Everything else I had to purchase. But there was I knew I was spending money that I didn't necessarily have a lot of. But it's also the whole, share the recording. You know what? That's fine. I've been doing that for years. In fact, I looked up one person pushing this. At least one person pushing this. When did they actually start? I looked up their channel. When did they actually start putting stuff online? The same year, 2018. So I have been doing these review playthroughs as long as this person has had a YouTube channel, or at least the YouTube channel they're using now. And then I also looked at their playlist sorted by oldest. Their oldest one that was like for a video game, 4 years ago. So I've been doing these review playthroughs longer than they have done, at least on that main channel, a playlist of a complete game. I know this stuff. And it's annoying to me, these people that they don't have that experience. And are saying, oh, this is how it should be done. It's like, no, because it's also, they do live streams. Because this is something that really, I know I'm jumping around. I said it would be a rant. I apologize that it is a rant, so I'm a little discombobulated in the order. But it annoys me so much them saying, live stream it. No. All right, I'm going to be very straight here. Okay? Part of the reason why they're trying to say we should do that reviewers need to do this is for the honesty and transparency. Hey, I'm in support of honesty and transparency. I do a lot of things to be honest and transparent in my reviews. Okay? No one can argue, no one can claim otherwise. No one can claim that. But they're trying to claim, part of their view is that reviewers are compromised if they get a review key. That's getting access. And it's like, okay, let's actually consider how this works. Because I do suspect that some of them don't, a review key is very low level, okay? That, access is more like you get to interview developers. You get to talk with them during development and all that. I don't have that. I'm saying one time that was offered to me. That was years ago. And I just shared that whole transcript, basically. Okay? One time. Technically, there was another thing. And this, again, I shared it because honesty and transparency. Techland for Dying Light 2, they sent me some stuff, and I shared that because it was also awesome stuff. I wanted to show that off. I thought it was neat. That was also months before the game came out. So, how much influence did they actually have on me by the time I got to the game? And it's also that Dying Light 2, I shared the complete playthrough there, so you do see my whole experience. But it's still a review key. 99% of the time. Actually better than that, because that was one game out of... How many reviews have I done? Hang on. Okay, that's why I can't use... this do it? No. Hang on. I need to look at it in a specific place. In my database that I keep track of all this in, I also, because I've done some reviews that were actually bundles, so I have each game listed, so I need to look at something else where I keep track of it by hand. I've done 173 games. I've reviewed 173 games or bundles. So, like, I did the Humble Indie Bundles 7, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Each of those games separately is in my database for a total of... actually, it shouldn't be 255, it should be 254, because I've got one game that... Actually, no, 2 games, so 253. 2 games that I started a review for, but never finished. But those are still in there. I still have the documentation for them in here, but they are not actually done. So here, let me... Nah, that's... Yeah, I'm just going to go back to filtering this way. But I've had 69 review playthroughs. I know, I'm just jumping around. I wish I had scripted. I almost feel like starting over and trying to be more coherent. Okay, so the chickens have gotten... Oh, no, not all the chickens. Okay. That's right. I was talking about the 173... Yes, that's right. 173 reviews I've written. Game or bundle reviews I've written. 173. One of them have I ever actually received anything like that. That was Dying Light 2. And I shared that. I showed that stuff off. And it was months before. It wasn't at the time. And you know something else? I didn't even talk with the developers. That was a, hey, basically, hey, we love our game. We're celebrating our game. You've been covering our game in news. You're probably going to end up reviewing it. We're going to send you a review key. We want to share this with you. Okay? That's how I interpreted it. Was them celebrating their game and sharing that. Which... I don't have a problem with that. I mean, if I were in their position, I might want to do the same thing. Why would I hold that against them? Is that access? I don't necessarily consider that access if it's just that. Access to me is you're talking with them. You're having communication with them. You're getting to know them. And you're potentially then, like, being friendly with them such that, okay, now maybe you are going to be influenced by that. But then I also find it a little funny because there is one time I reviewed a game. And this is noted in the, there we go. In the review, they actually knew somebody who worked on the game, or at least, well, no, I think when I wrote it, because I wasn't sure if he had worked on the game, but I knew somebody at the studio. And it's like, yeah, no, that's true. I admit it. I also pretty sure I did point out the way I know him, though. It would make me more likely to go at the game, not less. It would make me more likely to. It's just the kind of friendship that we have, and also how we know each other, why we know each other. Absolutely, the expectation would be that I would be more critical of the game, not less. Because of him. Okay, so that's all the chickens. So I should be able to turn these off, and they will get moved over as well. Okay, so it's like, what do you... I want defined access, because if you're counting a review key, because let me tell you something. This is how that works, okay? And here, I actually got a review key not that long ago, but I think I mentioned it, that it's just I don't have the time to do that one. Okay. Getting near it in the emails. Let's see. Okay. So it's basically just... Oh, it's actually acknowledging what the publisher is. It gets annoying. Sometimes in the sometimes in the emails with I'm sent a review key, which by the way, I'm just sent them a lot of times. I didn't ask for this one. It was just sent, which is fine. I'm good with that. A lot of games, actually, I only reviewed because I was sent the key. It does mention the publisher. Sometimes I have to go back and look that up because they don't always mention it. And that's just the PR person. Doesn't always remember to do that. That's fine. Just giving a little background about the game, what's in there, who developed it, because it's actually talking about how this developed it. There were 6 people there. A little bit of background. It is mentioning the release date, what consoles, the price. Gives the embargo time, which that does appear to be the release date of the game, to be clear. Playtime. This, I am thankful for. I'm saying this up. I love that they tell you the playtime, because hey, if you need to spend, in this case, it was saying 20 to 25 hours. Okay, now I would know if I were to review that game and focus on the game, that would take me about a week. Because I work during the day, on most days. So, that would actually be helpful. Because I could expect maybe 2 to 4 hours a night. And then weekends I could do a lot. Okay. Linked thing for known issues. This, absolutely. Very good thing to include there. Is this access? Not really. It's just saying, hey, yes, we know that there are these issues. You're getting early access. We know there are these issues. They're going to be fixed. As part of the day 1 patch. So if you encounter them, here's the context. And you know something? When I review a game, I talk about what reviews I encounter. If I don't encounter them, I don't talk about them. Okay? That is a hard and fast rule for me. I only share my experience. Why would you be hungry? You're not eating. I mean, it's like, what the hell are you doing? Go and eat. I mean, priorities lose objectives, even if not. I really hate how this game tries to do some stuff. Is that, like, are they seriously not eating? Well, no, because I've had it like this for a while. This dude's just an idiot. He's just a freaking idiot. And he's standing right by food as well, and he's just not eating. Why is this going to seed? The hell? They're just not doing things. They're just not doing things. Oh, no, hang on. Let's get to midnight so it auto-saves, and then... Then I'm saving and I'm stopping. That dude's just freaking idiot. Because there's another thing that they were talking about live streaming, and it's like, no, that if you're live streaming a game, I don't count that as a review. I don't want to explain that. Okay, but it's like known issues. If I encounter a bug, I talk about it. Okay, and I also have to because it'll be in the review playthrough. You're gonna see it. But if I don't experience it, then I don't talk about it. And that to me is so important. Like this was years ago, and it was with hardware reviewers, not at OCC, somewhere else. That they actually changed a review for something they never experienced, but other people were experiencing it, so they changed the review. It's like, that's irresponsible. I know they thought, oh, but it's responsible because we need to acknowledge this, let people know. It's like, yeah, but you never experienced it. You don't know how actually important it is. You're only trusting other people who might be exaggerating, and also they might just be a very, very vocal minority. Your responsibility is to report your experience, no one else's. No one else's. You can acknowledge somebody else's experience. That's fine. You can promote that, hey, there are these issues. We did not experience them, so this is our review based on that. It's like, that is totally fair. But anyway, getting back to this, so known issues. Mention about Steam Deck, and then the code. And that's it. That's actually... Steam Deck is normally not mentioned. Playtime very often is. There's an assets link there, which is nice because that, like what we're looking at here, that I put that together because that was a background image that they provided. The logo, obviously, they provided, and then our logo, and I put the early access name. Okay, it's like those assets are nice, and it's an art kit. Some developers at least used to actually just have that up on their website, so you can go and download anyway. They're not necessarily limited to review access or journalist access, but it's also some games. I don't know if they still do. I don't think many do. You can go and find wallpapers made, which is basically the same idea as this. The logo might just be in a different place, but that's what I'll use for these thumbnails. It's like, that's what is going on there. It's like, that's really just helping me do the review. That's not access, okay? Because I need the logo to make a thumbnail. What am I supposed to do? If I don't have that, I have to take a screenshot and then do the editing myself. It's like, okay, can I do that? Sure. Is it hard to do? Might be. Depends on the logo. Is it going to take up my time? Yes. So it's saving me time. Is that access? Is that access? Really, the only thing here that I can understand somebody legitimately saying is access is being given a key. And technically having early access as well. That, I think, is a little questionable. Because it's also like, some games you can just buy that early. And there is also... I'm just trying to think of the best way to put it. Because I understand people saying you shouldn't have to worry about the embargo date. As in, when the review comes out, right? Viewing it more like that. And that people, if they like your review style, if they're looking forward to your review, they will wait for it. It's like, yeah, that's fine. But those people will only do that because of your reputation. Because they already like you for it, right? But what if you don't have that? What if you don't have that reputation? And so it has to come out late. You have to somehow build up that reputation, but that might be when a lot of people have already gone through and looked at reviews. I was like, to use IGN as the example, because they'd be getting keys, and they would definitely be aiming for that release date, for that embargo date, right? Which may or may not be the release date. It very often today is. There have been some games that it has been earlier. In fact, some cases much earlier. But yeah, it's like, well, IGN gets a lot of traffic because people are looking for that review as early as possible. Let's say it takes you a week or two, or actually, I reviewed the Taos Principle last year. That was years after it came out, but I did that ahead of Taos Principle 2. Let me just look this up. I just want to... Now, unfortunately, I can't see the statistics for... Okay. I can't see the statistics for the reviews. I can see it for the videos, because those are on my channel. I control that. I can view that. If I do view this, because my Taos Principle 2 review came out a full month after the game released. Review playthrough. Okay, I'm looking at this. Is this all of them? 15 videos. It looks like it's about right. So, part 1, 11 views. Part 2, 11 views. 10 views. 5 views. 5 views. 8 views. 6 views. 8 views. 5 views. 8 views. 3 views. 2 views. 2 views. 7 views. 25 views. Oh, okay. So that's actually the verse. 25. I was looking at the bottom going up. I should have been going from the top down. So yeah, 25 views for the first one, and then 7, 2, 2, 3, 8, 5, 8, and so on. Okay. So 35 views is what it says. I guess it would be for the playlist. And then those were them for the specific videos. That was a month late. Would that have been higher if I had been able to hit the embargo date? Maybe. But this is also something else, because I feel that some of these people, they're trying to argue that, if you're honest and transparent, if you're sharing this stuff, that will attract people to you. Really? I got numbers that prove you wrong on that. And this is what annoys me, is that it's people, they don't have the experience doing this stuff. And some of them, their experience is live streaming. And I'm sorry, that's not a review. I will never count a live stream as a review, and here's why. Because, especially with these people, their live stream, they have communities. They have communities that are watching the live stream with them and are sending comments to them. In some cases, paid comments. So you're interacting with them. Now, from what I can tell, some of these people, they don't do written reviews like I do. That's fine. Whatever. But let's just, the hypothetical, they do sit down and decide to write a review, right? They sit down and write it. What are they reviewing? Are they reviewing the game or their experience that includes the community? I don't think you can separate those. So what happens if you have some community member that is doing a lot of the super chats where they're paying, or just the whole community is very active in making fun of the game, in mocking the game, or in talking up the game, saying that's really great? Is that not influencing you? Is that not? I don't think that you can separate that out. So this idea of, oh, live stream the game. No, if you're live streaming the game, at least for me, I reject that that's a review. I reject that that's valid because you have hopelessly entangled your experience with your community with the game. And I care about the game. I want the review of the game. I don't want the review of the game with your community. Yeah, so I mean, it's just, and as I said, I've been doing this for years. Right? I've done this 69 times. 69 of my reviews are that. And by the way, 2 of them, because I do also track this, I purchased the game. I had to purchase the game myself. And that's just of these reviews that I have a review playthrough of. There's plenty of games where I did purchase them. And those 2 games are, actually, and one of them is a little wonky. Assassin's Creed Origins, I purchased that, and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I purchased an RX 580 when you got that, Star Control Origins, and Strange Brigade for free with that purchase. So that's how I got that. So that yes, I paid for it. Star Control Origins, I actually have marked as true because I was provided a key for that, and I'm pretty sure they gave me early access. But I did also have a key of my own that I had purchased. Now I do track that as true because of that key was provided, because it is true, was provided, and I had the earlier access. But technically, I also did buy that game. So I how do you want to count that? But it's also like there's other games like Doom Eternal that I wish I had gotten a review playthrough of that, but unfortunately that was on Vulkan, and I think it was like that week, the week of release, OBS updated so you could then capture Vulkan. But I could not, I didn't see that update, so I wasn't able to record it. But that I bought that game. I even bought the $100 version of that game, and I wish I hadn't. Okay, because I'm not touching the expansions for that. Because it's like, what were they, the Doomslayers? No. Some enemy that they put in that game that's like, no, this is a very badly designed enemy in so many ways. Like, it's a mini boss that's tougher than some bosses because it's like, oh yeah, they're only vulnerable for a fraction of a second at a time. They have very powerful attacks, and you can't really kite them because they got a pet dog that'll just hunt you down. I mean, it's a very, very, very badly designed game that some people hate it. So what did the developers decide to do? We're going to have you fight 2 of them at the same time in the expansion. It's like, what is wrong with you? I wish I had the review playthrough that so you could see my anger or hear it. Not really see it, but yeah. Yeah, I got 69 of those, and it's also, if I look at my thing, that is 1,486 hours, 58 minutes, and 52 seconds. Because I track playtime. Right? I have all that experience doing it. I'm telling you that that's all just me alone. That is not one bit of it is my brain is partially turning off. Now, one bit of that is with somebody influencing me from the community. It's also not one bit of that am I being influenced by a developer. Because they're not connected. I don't talk to them. They don't talk to me. Except for, like, if I encounter a bug, I'll contact my PR person, who has nothing to do with the game. They're just a PR person, to have the PR person pass it on. I don't even necessarily talk to the developers with that. Sometimes they will end up contacting me directly for more information, but other times, no, it's going through the PR person. So it's also, where is my access there? Because that's another thing that is questionable with this whole, we have to we have to worry about people having access. I don't have access to the developers. I have access to a PR person. I don't have access to the publisher. I mean, I could potentially get that. I could potentially ask questions. I would get there, or they might be like, hey, we can set something up if you'd like. But I can say no to that. I'm just talking to the PR person. So yeah, it really annoys me to see this discussion, because it's like, I get your point. I get the argument that about trying to get honesty and transparency, but it's, my genuine feeling on it, how I genuinely am interpreting this, is it's people that don't really know what they're asking for, that they don't have the experience involved with this, and they're just like, they have an idea that is good. It's a good idea, but they're treating it as though it is great. And it's not. It's not a great idea. You cannot force people to record the entire playthrough, because the technical burden for that, not everyone is able to do for various reasons. And there's also things like, there have been times, I don't remember which game it might be, but there have been times when I have in fact, because I said, like, I work during the day, right? So I only have a few hours in the evening that I could really spend. But it could be you know what? I only have an hour. I don't want to do recording that's only an hour long for this. Or maybe it's less, where it's like, I only have half an hour. I'm not even going to spend that time. Because it's like, no, I need to do, I'll just do other things, because I want to be able to have a 2-hour block for doing that. I'm not going to be unique in this. And my schedule is still kind of open compared to other people. Right? So I genuinely feel that these people, it's only a good idea. Some people it can't work for, so you pushing that, oh, it should be a requirement. It shouldn't be a requirement. Not even close. Not even close should be a requirement. And it's also, as I was saying with the live stream stuff, I don't even count these people as reviewers. They might be acting as that, but are you reviewing the game, or are you reviewing your community? And it would be fascinating to find out. You know, like, what would happen? You like, ask them, would you be willing to do a complete playthrough of a game without your community? You do that on your own time, and you put up all the videos after you're done. Okay? So it's after, it's at the very end. So that way, there is zero influence from your community. Or even go completely dark, which actually, I'm sure they wouldn't do that, because for some of them, that's their career. That's their career. If they went dark to do that, they're losing money. And yeah, I know some of that I'm talking out of my ass. I got that. Because this shit is not my career. I'm not even sure how much I'd want it to be. It would be nice if it were more successful for me. Yeah, I'd love that, but I don't know if I'd want this as a career. But it's just, the reality of what is actually viable and what will actually achieve the goals you want is in the middle. And it's just, why don't you talk about being in the middle? Why don't, instead of saying it should be a requirement and do it this way, it's like, no, it's not a requirement, because that's not viable for a lot of people. And you have to remember, what is the actual idea to the review here? Are you reviewing the game? Because that's, as I said, you can't have the community. You can't have people influencing that. Because it's like, if you're saying that Access influenced me, if you're saying that a single email, okay, and here, for further context, that email that I got that review key in, that I was looking at, 2 weeks before the embargo date, that's actually fairly normal. That, except for a check-in that was about a week later. That's it. 2 emails. That's it. With the PR person. Never with a developer, never with the publisher. Well, actually, no, I take that back. Because Stardock, they handle their own PR. So that is direct with them. But that's still a PR person there. It's not a developer, but it is an employee, a formal employee of the company. So that, granted, it's been a long time since I have reviewed a Stardock game, though. So that's just coincidence. But, yeah, so it's like, that's it. 2 communications that are only email. This isn't live communication back and forth. I got the key. That's already sent to me. And in this case, I didn't even use that key, because I don't have time to review that game. Versus, you're in the game, you're playing the game, and you're getting that. You're having people talk to you all the time. Which is going to be more interference? It's the community. There's not even a comparison there. It's a community. Because it's also, I mean, imagine this. All right, no, legitimately, I want you to imagine this scenario. Somebody, popular review, well, popular live stream, I should say. They're playing the game to review it. They're going through. What happens if a developer decides to join them? You know, gets on there and actually starts doing super chats. What then? How do you handle that? Especially, what if it's a super chat? Because now you're actually getting paid by a developer. What is that then? What's that scenario? I mean, what are you going to do? What do you do there? Are you going to try to screen them all out? Because I was like, you know all their usernames? How's that going to work? Honesty and transparency. Hey, the key was provided. I always say that. I always say that. And by the way, something else that I found a little bit funny, seeing a little bit of the replies, some people trying to say publishers would never let the review playthroughs go live. It's like, I've been doing this for years. I don't care. No, I'm serious. When I have had communication with developers concerning bug reports, I do mention, and I'm assuming that the PR people definitely know I'm doing this. But I do mention, like, if this is the whole message is going through, I do mention I have the complete review playthrough if you want to see that. There are developers, there are publishers that know I do that. Never once have they ever expressed any concern. It's never even a question, okay? It's not even like wait, you're doing what? Nothing. There's never even acknowledgement of it. They don't care. As long as you don't break embargo, I don't think they give a shit. I'm serious. And in a way, that's fair. Because especially when embargo is release date, they can't say you can't put this stuff out because the game is out. I mean, sometimes I do see where there'll be multiple embargoes where it's like, okay, here's an embargo that's a few days before, a week before. That's for, like, putting out any video or any discussion of, like, the first 2 chapters of the game. And then there's the release embargo when everything can go out. All right? They do have that stuff. Because they do have some people where it's like they want to do the live stream. It's like you can do a live stream there. You can't share your opinion of the game yet. For the first 2 chapters, you then have to stop. And then you can't get it going again until the embargo date. At least as far as the full live stream goes. It's like, that's, in a way, that's fine. I don't see the problem there. Because they want to control when people can view. What's unreasonable there? But yeah, I mean, it just... Ugh. I wish I weren't rambling as much in this rant as I have been, but it is just... I got the years of experience doing this. Thousands of hours, almost 1,500 hours of review playthroughs. And that's just the review playthroughs. I'm not even counting. I could pull that up. The Let's Play Pluses, where I replay games I've reviewed to have playthroughs of them as well. I haven't done one of those for a while. But still, that actually would. Because it's certainly more than the 14 hours necessary to hit 15. Because I've done Tomb Raider and Rise of the Tomb Raider. I want to do Shadow Tomb Raider. I think that there's another game even. Hang on, let me look, because I can pull this up. I keep track of all this shit. Tomb Raider, Metro Exodus, Doom Eternal, because they did do it later. Saints Row the Third Remastered, that I was actually streaming. Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Crisis Remastered, Mirror's Edge. Really? I don't remember doing Ashes of Singularity Escalation. Apparently I did. Dying Light Complete, yes, because... I'm trying to remember, the Dying Light Complete Experience. Oh, no, that's why it's here, because... When I reviewed the original Dying Light game, as I recall, but then I went back to do the complete experience with the DLC. That's a Let's Play Plus because of the base game I didn't have the review playthrough of before, but the DLC would be new. So that, yes. And then Saints Row 4. So that's 11 games there, and that's I don't think any of them is less than 10 hours. Oh no, there's actually a few. I've got one that's 8. Yeah, I'm just gonna sort so they're at the top. Mirror's Edge is short. Doom Eternal, 8.5 hours, but that's the second playthrough. I could see that that may have taken me longer when I originally did it. Crisis was 9 hours. Ashes of Singularity. Well, that one's actually, Ashes is gonna be variable. So that's just how long I actually spent playing it. But still, it's like I have over 1,500 hours in this stuff. I know what I'm talking about with this. I have the experience. It's not for everyone. It isn't. Don't say it's a requirement for everyone. Encourage it. Support it. But it's not for everyone. And it's also, some of these people, when they talk about it, it's as though if you do this, then people will flock to you because they want that honest. No, they don't. All right, I mean, so I don't know what the actual viewing numbers are for the Taos Principle written review. But it's probably more than the less than 100. It's probably more than 100. It's probably more than 100 views on that review. Not even 100 views on the videos, though. So clearly, you can be doing it. You can be doing it for years. You can have a reputation of doing that. That doesn't mean people are going to look at the video. Okay? I mean, I don't think that these people have the experience to say that this is a great idea that people need to do it. It's like, No, it's a good idea. You should be encouraging people to do it and leave it at that. If they can't do it, then they can't do it. Because there can be reasons why. And it's not oh, you do this and you'll be... No, you're not going to do this and be successful. It's not going to make you successful. It's just a different way of doing it. Because, I mean, it's also... I got other things like this as well. I mean, if you look at... And I know I'm just continuing to rant and ramble. Some stuff I did for the performance analyses where I put together an applet. So you could actually... And that actually was for Dying Light 2 data. You could actually go online. I had a web address linked to in the article. You could go there and take my data. It's in there, and you could change the processing of it. So you can see different measurements there. You could, yes, for Dying Light, you could also do the graphs. I would have to pay for a better server to have fuller access to the graphs. So the full performance analysis with a whole bunch of GPUs, I hit the memory limit if I include the graphs there. So the graphs are disabled on that. But for just the performance from the review, which was just the RX 580, the graphs are there. You can interact with that. It's actually a really awesome and powerful tool. No one ever used it. So it just sits there. I use those scripts because I can run them locally when I do performance analysis to show that off. To do the inspection of the data, and I record that and share that. What did I call them? The thermal, CPU thermal testing and GPU thermal testing scripts experiments, where I collected a whole bunch of data and again made applets so that people could go in and look at it and experiment with it themselves. Were those used? No, they weren't. I mean, it's like you can have the better mousetrap, but it's a lie that they will beat a path to your door because a lot of people don't care or they just don't know. They just don't know. I mean, some of the stuff like the thermal applets, the performance applets, especially when I made them, no one had anything like it. No one that I saw had anything comparable to that. And even today, I don't think anyone really does either. I'm offering something superior to anyone else as far as the depth of statistics, the depth of data, depth of graphs. No one can compete with me on that. No one can. It is that powerful, that capable. And I make it accessible to everyone. And what happens? Nothing. No one cares. You can say all you want that, hey, this is a great idea. You can say that all you want. Doesn't mean it's going to work. Doesn't mean it'll succeed. Maybe if they would start doing it, it would be successful because they already have their communities. They already have success. But it does seem like that they how do I want to put it? I can think of a way to put it. It's not a good way to put it, though. But I can't think of a better way. It's like they're drunk on their success. And I know that has a negative connotation far stronger than I mean here. And I'll try to have this be the final point. Because I do feel that is my feeling about them. I could be wrong. I could easily be wrong. I kind of hope I'm wrong. But this is my feeling. That they're drunk on success in that they have success. They've achieved that success. And I think they're acting as though, that they're speaking as though everyone can achieve that same success. As though, this is a great idea. I'm successful, and I think this is a great idea. If you do it too, you'll be successful. That's not how that works. Right? That's how to become, selling a book for $10. That's how to be a millionaire. Yeah, how do you do that? Selling it for $10? Make sure you sell 100,000 of them. Right? Because you're just convincing people to do that. But you're not going to see those 100,000 become millionaires. That's not how it works. Too many variables. But it seems like they just believe, this is my interpretation, they just believe, I'm successful. I think this is a good idea. If people do it, then it'll work. I'm a failure. I got no problem with admitting that. I know I'm a failure. I accept I'm a failure. I wrote the damn book. No, seriously, I did write a book titled Failure. I did. No one read it. No one reads it. So even that is a failure. So, yeah, I mean, it's like, and I've been doing this shit for years. This stuff they're saying, oh, do this, and it'll be great. It's like, been doing it for years. Clearly, it doesn't make you a success. So, yeah, it does bother me. And it would be, I know it would never happen, but it would be hilarious to debate any of these people on it, to have an argument with them. But it's also, I could see it not working, because if they're like, oh, but you're compromised because you have access with the review keys. It's like, if you're counting that as access, you're lost. Okay, you are lost. Because, like I said, your community can pay you to talk to them instead of doing the review. Okay, while you're playing the game. They can influence you during playing the game. But you think that getting an email unsolicited, I'm on the main list, but it's not always solicited. It's not, as I said, with that one game key that I got, I didn't ask for that key. It was just sent to me. So technically that was unsolicited. If you think that that counts as access, but your community being able to mock a game as you're playing it, or celebrate a game as you're playing it, and telling you about that, maybe even paying you so that their comment is read and you respond, that's not compromising, then you know what? No, I wouldn't want to debate that person. I wouldn't want to debate that person because there is no way that any conversation with them would lead to improved understanding on both sides. Because if you cannot see how compromising that is, nope. I don't think we can disagree on plenty of stuff. I hate the saying agree, disagree. I hate that because it should never be the point to achieve agreement. Never in an argument should that be the purpose. Purpose should be to gain understanding of each other, right? That's it. So you can understand somebody and completely disregard it. You can say, and I still think you're wrong, but I understand why you think what you do. That should be the goal. But I cannot, if somebody can't understand that point of view of mine, if they reject the idea that during gameplay interference from a community if they think that doesn't compromise, but unsolicited email with game key does, there's not even a discussion to be had with them. I can't do that. I can't do that. It's not going to work. Because it is also, going back to what I said, what if a developer gets in there? I mean, it's like, man, there's almost a part of me that it's like, I would do that. I would be that asshole. Like, if I knew these developed, like, hey, this person, they're playing that game. Try to find a developer there and be like, I will give you the money. I will reimburse you if you do that so that they are thoroughly compromised. Just to prove the point. Even if it's just say, hey, how you doing? That's it. That is it. Just so I could make that point. You have been compromised. And so, but no, I mean, but that's all I said. Why are you now splitting hairs? You're saying that the review keys, without that communication, without that direct communication is compromising, but this isn't? I mean, it's like, you can't do it the way they're talking about it. You can't do the live streams, at least. You want to do pre-recorded like I do, put it all up, or even live stream it, but unlisted or private so no one can see it until it's done. You want to do that, that's fine. That's a great way of doing it, especially if you don't care about having a local copy, you don't care about having a high quality copy, you want to do it that way, great. Do it that way. That's perfect. That is perfect. Okay? But you have to have it separated. It cannot be with the community. Can't be. Can't. All right. I really wish that were a more coherent rant. Oh well, see you next time. Yeah, see you then.